Yeah, people keeping the fire burning 24/7. So I just want to chime in on that whole marijuana decriminalization thing that took place some probably 1.5, 2 years, I'm not sure, in this country. So all along we have been hearing certain people who plant weed, who grow weed, or want to smoke weed ad libitum in public anyhow, anywhere. They have been pushing for the legalization of the weed. Now, some of the things that the reasons that they gave, they may probably tell you that there are certain people who need it for medical reasons and all of that. But when I look at the thing from outside in, from the perspective of the people who actually grow weed, they thought they were doing themselves a favor. But these people who are planting marijuana, or who make a living off planting marijuana, they have really affected their own selves. So some of them were the ones who were pushing for the legalization of weed and all of that. What happened now, we have a statute where I think that they give you a certain number of plants that you can legally grow around your house or wherever. Now, they have not realized that because of that, they almost, sometimes I walk around the place when I do my exercises, and I see that there are people who have weed planted by their homes now, publicly, and right now there are a lot of people with weed planted around their house. So all of those who are chanting, legalize the herb, legalize the herb, the herb that you are selling now, you will not be able to sell as much as you were selling before, because every man has his own stash by his house. So these are the things people do in this place. There are sometimes somebody will make a noise in the air, or even certain prominent people in the media, the government, or some NGO, somebody may make a noise, and everybody jump on the bandwagon. But people do not really think whether or not this noise or these things that they are proposing are really in their favor. Because let's just hypothetically say that I was a guy who was growing weed and planting weed for a living, I would try hard for that thing to be illegal, because the value of weed lies in the fact that it's illegal. It is because of the fact that it is illegal, that's why they have to charge so much on the market for it. And another thing again, if the weed is selling here in this country for, let's say, 600 EC dollars per pound, if you have to take that thing to Martinique, for example, they will probably get 1,200 euros. I'm just saying that hypothetically, per pound. So you can see that the profit, the amount of money that you would make in Martinique, it is because of the risk associated with taking it all the way over there. And it just goes to show that in the society, there are a lot of people who will clamor for things, make noise, excite themselves, and they do not really understand the ramifications of what they're really asking for, what they're really looking for. They don't understand what's going on. You understand? I'm just using that weed thing to give you an example as to why, when you hear people making noise in the society, you do not just join on the bandwagon. Because there are people who, before these things are released, before them things are released in the public, there are already some big heads who have really thought about the thing. And they have seen how they're going to benefit out of whatever it is that they're proposing. So when they release that out there, they will just fool the head of some big mouth people who will just go and spread this foolishness everywhere, and then everybody will believe. You understand? When you hear things, when things are being proposed, you need to understand, try to figure out how these things will benefit you. And this weed thing is just one of the examples, one of the ways, one of the reasons why you should think of things before you just jump into it. Because they have not realized that there are certain people in St. Lucia who are wealthy. the same ones who are advocating the arrest of the Rastas. They were pushing for the Rastas to be arrested. When the Rastas were being shot and killed in the early days, those people were feeling like, some of these people now who are talking now, they were feeling it was justifiable. It was okay for them when the Rastas were being maimed and all of that for weed. And now they want to behave like they change their views and their perspectives because they see that they want to try to make money out of it. You understand? So that's just the first step. At the end of the day, the poor man is always the one that is being squeezed, because a lot of times they do not think. They just hear things and they believe. They hear things on the media, they do not believe. The media is one of the tools that they use to manipulate the public. And even in St. Lucia, it is even worse, because St. Lucia does not have a media. St. Lucia have people who are, how they call it, political hacks who push themselves out as news people. They try to convince people that they are media people, but they are not. They are just people who are political hacks who are just supporting their political parties. In the last administration, just look at the news. There were so many news items going out on politicians, or they were talking freely about what they didn't like or whatever. Always a story. But this time you're hearing no stories. This media that you have here, there is no media in St. Lucia. There is a propaganda machine that is going on right now. You have a propaganda machine. And you have to be very careful what you hear and what you believe from this media in this country. But the whole thing of this video is to let you understand that when people making noise in the society, you have to think. Be quiet and listen. Sometimes people talk too much. You need to listen more. Keep the fire burning.